life, we often try to control everything around us. We worry about tomorrow, regret yesterday, and forget to live today. But sometimes, the very mind that's meant to protect us becomes our biggest enemy. Have you ever wondered why some people live peacefully, while others are trapped in endless worry? Today's story will show you how one young man discovered the secret to turning his restless mind into his greatest strength. Listen carefully, because every moment teaches us how to find peace in a world full of chaos. There was a young man named David who lived in a busy city. His life looked perfect from the outside. He had a good job at a marketing company, a nice apartment, and friends who respected him. But inside, David's mind was like a storm that never stopped. Every morning, David would wake up with his heart racing. His mind would flood with thoughts. What if I mess up the presentation today? What if my boss doesn't like my work? What if that chest pain means something serious? These thoughts followed him everywhere like shadows. One evening, after another exhausting day of battling his own mind, David was walking home when he noticed an old bookstore. Something drew him inside. The store owner, an elderly man with kind eyes, was sitting quietly behind the counter, reading. "Excuse me," David said. "Do you have any books about stopping worry?" The old man looked up and smiled gently. "Ah, a restless mind," he said. "I can see it in your eyes. The weight you carry isn't in your hands, is it? It's in your thoughts." David was surprised. How could this stranger see what he was going through? "Yes," David admitted, "my mind never stops. I'm tired of being afraid all the time." The old man stood up slowly. "I once knew a young monk who had the same problem. Would you like to hear his story? It might help you understand something important." David nodded eagerly. This young monk lived in a beautiful monastery up in the mountains. Every day he would try to meditate, but his mind was full of worries. What if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? What if something bad happens to my family? The more he tried to push these thoughts away, the stronger they became. One day, the head monk gave him a special task. "I want you to carry this bowl of water to the temple at the top of the mountain, but you must not spill even one drop." The young monk was confused. "But master, what does this have to do with my worried mind?" The head monk just smiled. "You'll understand when you return." So the young monk carefully picked up the bowl and started walking up the mountain path. The road was rocky and steep. Every step required his complete attention. He watched the water constantly, adjusting his movements to keep it steady. As he climbed higher, something amazing happened. For the first time in months, his mind became completely quiet. He wasn't thinking about his failures or fears. He wasn't worried about tomorrow. His entire focus was on this one moment, this one step, this one breath. When he reached the temple and successfully delivered the bowl without spilling a drop, he suddenly understood. He ran back down the mountain to his master. "Master," he said breathlessly, "when I focused completely on the present moment, my worried thoughts disappeared." The wise monk nodded. "Your anxious thoughts live in the future and the past, but life happens only in the present. When you bring your mind fully into now, anxiety has no place to exist." David listened intently as the old bookstore owner continued. The young monk learned 3 simple truths that day. First, anxiety is just your mind trying to solve problems that don't exist yet. Second, the present moment is the only moment where you have real power. And third, when you focus completely on what you're doing right now, worried thoughts naturally fade away. "But how do I do that in real life?" David asked. "My job, my responsibilities, everything seems so overwhelming." The old man smiled. "Let me show you something." He picked up a pen from his desk. "For the next 30 seconds, I want you to focus only on this pen." Notice its color, its shape, how the light reflects off it. If your mind wanders to other thoughts, gently bring it back to the pen. David stared at the pen. At first, his mind jumped to his presentation tomorrow, then to his bills, then to what he would eat for dinner. But each time, he gently brought his attention back to the pen. Slowly, his breathing became calmer. "How do you feel?" the old man asked. "Peaceful," David said, surprised. "For those 30 seconds, I wasn't worried about anything." "That's the secret," the old man explained. "Anxiety cannot exist when your mind is fully present. You can practice this anywhere. When you're eating, focus completely on the taste. When you're walking, feel each step. When you're talking to someone, listen with your whole being." "But what about my problems? Don't I need to think about them?" "Of course," the old man replied. "But there's a difference between thinking and worrying. Thinking is productive. It helps you solve real problems. Worrying is just thinking in circles about things you can't control. When you stay present, you can think clearly about real problems and let go of imaginary ones." David left the bookstore that night with a new understanding. Over the following weeks, he practiced what the old man taught him. Whenever anxiety crept in, he would bring his attention to the present moment. He would focus on his breathing, or the feeling of his feet on the ground, or the task right in front of him. Slowly, David's life began to change. The constant worry that had plagued him for years started to fade. He slept better, worked more efficiently, and actually began to enjoy his life again. His restless mind had become his peaceful mind. This story teaches us that anxiety is not something we have to live with forever. Our minds are powerful, but we can learn to direct that power. When we stop living in the future and the past and start living in the present, we discover something beautiful. This moment, right now, is actually okay. There's an ancient saying, "If you want to know your past, look at your present condition. If you want to know your future, look at your present actions." The present moment is where real life happens. It's where peace lives. It's where your power island. Your anxious thoughts are like clouds passing through the sky of your mind. You are not the clouds. You are the sky itself, vast and unchanging. Let the worried thoughts come and go, but remember, you are much bigger than any single thought. If this story helped you find a moment of peace, please like and share it with someone who might need to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stories that can change how you see life. I'll be back with another inspiring story that can help you grow. Until then, remember, peace is not found by avoiding the storm, but by finding calm within it. Stay present, stay grateful, and keep moving forward, one moment at a time.